Well, Ukraine is complaining that they are being leashed by the U.S. government. If only the U.S. would let them launch a full-scale attack inside Russia, they could get this show on the road and win, so they say. This is a lie. They are not going to win, nor should they. Here is a reminder of the context that the media will not give you. Ukraine has been attacking the Donbas region since 2014, killing civilians and torturing specifically ethnic Russians. In 2022, 5 mayors from those regions asked Russia to come in and protect them from increased attacks that were funded by the International Monetary Fund and the United States. Russia came in and held the line, and the people in those regions voted to leave Ukraine and become a part of Russia for obvious reasons. Because why stay a part of a government that's bombing you? Now, Ukraine has not been able to regain any of that territory because they keep throwing innocent and untrained lives at Russia's line. Here is a map at how far they've come in 14 months of a so-called offensive. From the dark gray and east is the contested regions that want to join Russia. The red is the area that currently Russia controls that Ukraine wants back. Now, the map on the left is where they started the offensive, June 1st, 2023. And you can see that they've gained no territory from the current map. In fact, they've lost territory because that red continues to spread as Russia continues to gain more ground. But also, they're not even trying. So if you look at the blue dots is where Ukraine's army is launching offensive. In June, they were at least trying. You see where the blue dots are? They were at least trying to fight for that contested area. As of this month, all of Ukraine's attacks are outside of this region. Instead of trying to gain back land, they're just attacking Russia directly. This is called the Kursk offensive. It began on August 6th, but really, Ukraine has been moving out of the contested region and just attacking Russia, just basically poking the bear. They're not fighting for their land at all. They're just provoking Russia. And yet today, the Associated Press calls this a daring ground offensive that has taken the fight to Russia as if it's glorified. This pissed me right off. I wouldn't say it's daring. I would say it's cowardly and suicidal. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said that the biggest problem here is that the West doesn't want an escalation with Russia. Is that a problem? I would say that's because we are sane and want to live. You would think their biggest problem would be all the needless death for a pointless war and their inability to replenish a dwindling and untrained military. Instead, they see it as a problem that they can't keep all that going, can't keep this party going. He says, ever since the beginning of the large-scale invasion, the biggest problem Ukraine has been facing is the domination of the concept of escalation in the decision-making process among our partners. So basically, they're scared of a war with Russia, so we can't really throw the party that we want. It's like the super in the building is telling them to keep it down, but they want to throw a rager. Now, who in their right minds would want an escalation with Russia, except neocons? President Biden has repeatedly promised the American people that this would not happen. There's nothing daring about this. Now, here's a reminder, though, that Ukraine could have stopped this a long time ago. Number one, by not attacking the Donbas. Number two, they could have agreed to the peace agreements that they had in 2022 before Boris Johnson and his minions talked him out of it. They could have gone to peace talks ever since. Just this week, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said at a news conference that Russia has been offering to go to peace talks all along. And that is true. We have covered it repeatedly when the Russian government comes out and says, how about some peace talks? We're willing to go to some peace talks. They're not willing to go to peace talks that involves them giving up that land because those people voted to go to Russia, to join Russia, and those people are unsafe under Ukraine. So now Ukraine is playing dirty, and Russia is not willing to negotiate, or so they say, because of this Kursk offensive. Here's what that offensive has cost with nothing gained. It says Ukrainian forces have started this major attack on August 6th. Missile warnings have been issued repeatedly in the region. The government declared a federal level emergency. Residents being evacuated to safer places. According to the Russian Emergency Situation Ministry, a total of 197 temporary accommodation centers are being opened in 28 regions, housing more than 11,500 people, including 3,500 children. These are civilians. This is not a military battle. This is Ukraine attacking civilians, which they always accuse Russia of doing it, but they're doing it right in front of our very eyes. And the United States is like, stop it. Don't do that.
Please wait. Don't go. Please wait.
You shouldn't be doing that.
You shouldn't kill civilians. United States is very strong in our commitment to not kill civilians.
Yes. But look how many Ukrainian servicemen, and I hate to, if we could put this screen back up, I hate to even call them Ukrainian servicemen because most of them are kidnapped civilians. They're not trained for this. These are innocent Ukrainian lives fighting a battle they have no business being at, but 7,000 of them have been lost, 74 tanks. And the Russian army continues to destroy Ukrainian formations, they say, and they're just going to keep going. So no, Associated Press, this is not a daring offensive. This is murderous and also dangerous and awful. So F you for glorifying that. Ukraine has totally lost the ability to attack that region without consequence. And so they lost it, what they've been doing since 2014. So the daring thing would be to admit that and go to peace talks. But I guess the Associated Press likes the bloodlust.
Of course they do. That's how they make their money. And they are a mouthpiece of the intelligence state. I mean, the Associated Press is a mouthpiece of the CIA, of course, and they're an offshoot. Actually, they're a cutout of the CIA, just like the BBC is a cutout of MI6. So, of course, they want this.
Yeah.
They are fueled by this. And, of course, we have openly pointed out the lies from the Associated Press on maternity ward, the maternity hospital story. I mean, the list is pretty endless in Ukraine for the lies being told by the Associated Press.
Yeah. So that pissed me right off. Let me know what you think of that. We at least know the truth about the war in Ukraine. Hopefully, we have a vote for ending this conflict. But I don't know. Let us know what you think that can be done about it. At the very least, tell your representatives you do not support continued support of the Ukrainian corrupt government.